I feel good, and I'm gonna go out there and perform and do what I do best.
Flo, do you really want to take them both on at the same night?
Absolutely, easy. You got two fake fighters. A fake fighter, I'm a real fighter. But it's bum.
Get Al Hammond.
Absolutely, I don't need Al Hammond.
Let me call Al Hammond.
I'm my own boss. I'm my own boss.
One night. Got your hat. Got your hat.
In a startling revision at the Lively Fanatics Fest NYC press conference, Floyd Mayweather challenged Jake Paul for fighting Mike Tyson, which caused mayhem. Although Mike Tyson didn't say much, his body language during his preparation for his Sunday fight with Jake Paul revealed a lot about his mental state. The excitement for Tyson and Paul's much-anticipated showdown was increased as they faced off in front of an energized crowd in New York's Javits Center. The two combatants' dissimilar fighting styles highlighted their 31-year age disparity. In contrasting contrast, Paul embraced the villain with relish.
He's dangerous. He's dangerous. I think his strength is that people, for whatever stupid reasons, they underestimate him because of what his back.
Hurling insults and jabs at his opponent, as well as the hostile audience. In the midst of the commotion, Tyson maintained his composure by giving thoughtful replies to questions and periodically reaching for the words body language expert. Even though Tyson was hard-pressed to come alive during the trash talk, Judy James told us that he seemed uncomfortable and taken aback by the carnival-like atmosphere around him. He also looked and sounded like a man who was accustomed to more courteous and respectful interviews, as he paused at multiple questions, appearing to be confused or distracted.
They think there's no way that some guy who became famous off of YouTube is going to be an actual legit boxer. But if you look at what he's done, the time that he's put into it, and the ability that he has, just the sheer ability, he's a very good boxer.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, and he seems to treat his body the right way too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trains hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched a lot of his training footage. I've watched all of his fights. He can fight.
What do you think of the thing with Mike though?
58 is 58.
Yeah.
No matter what.
James continued by saying that Mike's hesitations, pauses, and his replies that sounded confused might be the result of what he thought was an absurd circumstance. James noticed that Paul's flair for theatrics had undoubtedly drawn a lot more attention to his professional bouts, but now that Tyson is nearing the end of his boxing journey, he seems uninterested in indulging the 27-year-old's antics. The man has fought the best, and now he is sitting with a YouTuber in front of an audience that is entirely of a different generation. He might also have been deafened by the noise we hear what the mics pick up, but in a loud room like this, the questions don't always cut through.
They're doing for you, and you're still 58. But 58-year-old Mike Tyson is not 50-year-old Mike Jones that lives down the street. It's a different kind of human being, and he still can knock your fucking head into another dimension if he can catch you.
Yeah.
The thing is, can he catch a 28-year-old guy who's at the top of his career, who's winning legitimate
James claimed that although Jake Paul's pantomime skill is unmatched and that he is obviously in awe of Tyson, he delivers trash talk that absorbs the alcohol that Tyson once used to act like a man deserving of the Hall of Fame rather than being forced into trading jabs with a man who is easily young enough to be his son. In the world of combat sports, Jake Paul, whether adored or despised, commands unquestionable attention. This YouTuber turned boxer has a 10-fight winning streak and has defeated well-known opponents like Mike Perry.
Same.
And I'm very nervous for you.
Thank you for caring.
I do care. I care about you, and I care about my brother, and I know the path he's on right now. And it's ruthless, Mike.
I agree. It's pretty cool.
It's cool. It's so cool to watch, and he's really crushing it. And I just feel like I want you to be okay in there, Mike. And I want you got to take him serious, Mike, because I
take him extremely serious. I take him extremely serious. These people don't take him serious.
No, they don't, and it's such a mistake because he's a real killer, Mike. Like, he wanted to be a Navy SEAL before he started boxing. Like in high school, he wants to be a Navy SEAL. He wanted to go kill people on behalf of
Diaz Nate, even the renowned Anderson Silva, and Tyrone Woodley. The next exciting phase of his extraordinary adventure will begin on November 15th when he fights alongside heavyweight legend Mike Tyson. Fans from all over the world will be able to watch the thrilling fight on Netflix, which takes place in the high-stakes boxing arena where legends are created via intense battles. Paul is an uncommon exception. The change from social media, although the path from boxing prowess to fame is seldom typical, Paul has succeeded in making a name for himself in a tradition and respect-driven sport.
New York, shut the f up, New York. Hey, boo yourselves. Boo yourselves, New York. Hey, New York, New York, New York, you're just like Mike Tyson. You were good 20 years ago. You, New York. You. Dumbass.
A combination of natural ability and ongoing undervaluation, which feeds his drive in episode 2191 of the Joe Rogan Experience, is how Joe Rogan describes his success. Hollywood luminary. When Russell Crowe and Joe Rogan sat down for a long talk, the topic turned to boxing, and Crowe showed a keen interest in Rogan's perspectives on troubled kids and his incredible accomplishments in the ring. Rogan said he frequently remarks that if Jake Paul weren't a YouTube celebrity and was only seen as a promising boxer, people would recognize his significant talent and point out that Paul is in fact dangerous, saying, "This kid has a lot of talent."
And a pause break and postpone the fight, so yeah. What about that, dog? I was ready before, you needed a little break. Your tummy hurt? Your tummy hurt still?
I feel a lot better now. I feel a lot better.
He's dangerous. He's dangerous. I think his strength is that people underestimate him because of what his background was for whatever stupid reasons. Many critics of Paul's ascent to stardom on the internet have said that he is just a show and a diversion from the real boxing, but Rogan, who has experience in the sport, sees more in him.
Until November 15th, I'm knocking this motherfucker out, and we're gonna see who's dead. We will see who's dead. We will see who's dead, Mike. We will. We will.
Hey,
Mike, when you hear Jake Paul say, though, we're gonna see who's dead, what does that do to you? Does that make you put yourself in the mindset of understanding that this young killer wants to take you out?
is he really a young killer?
He emphasized that Paul's real strength is his capacity to succeed under the shadow of expectations. Rogan acknowledged that he thinks Paul's strength comes from the misconception that people have about him because of his background, and that someone who became famous on YouTube couldn't possibly be a legitimate boxer. These people believe that there is no way that a guy who became famous on YouTube will ever be a legitimate boxer. But if you look at what he's accomplished, the time he's put into it, and his sheer ability, he is a very good boxer. Yeah, and he appears to take good care of his body as well. I've watched a lot of his training videos and all of his fights. He is a skilled fighter. What do you think of the Mike situation though? 58 is 58. I'm fascinated by Rogan's assessment. Crowe observed that Paul seems to take great care of his physique, which is essential for any athlete to succeed. When the subject of Paul's impending battle came up, Rogan concurred, pointing out that Paul trains diligently and adding that he had seen a lot of Paul's training film in all of his fights, proving that Paul could fight. The podcast host acknowledged that Mike Tyson might be a different kind of person, but the age gap between him and Paul would still make the fight difficult for Iron. The conflict between Tyson and Paul has sparked harsh criticism from another prominent MMA figure who didn't hold back in their criticism of the problem child and Tyson's latest press conference taking and what they're doing for you, and you're still 58 but 58-year-old, Rogan said, expressing concern. The question is, can Mike Tyson catch a 28-year-old who is at the peak of his career and winning legitimate boxing matches? Former UFC champion Michael Bisping was enraged by Paul's show of bravado during the press conference, and he expressed his frustration with the YouTuber's antics. Mike Tyson is not the 50-year-old Mike Jones who lives down the street. Rather, he is a different kind of human being. According to Bisping, the fight's meaning that you should challenge yourself, you pathetic man, you pathetic individual, rather than the fight itself is what's bothering him. He said on his YouTube channel that fighting is about challenging yourself, given business killing it in that regard, but don't give me this fighter. That's what irritates me. In the end, this fight is far more than a mere exchange of blows. It's a meaning of different eras, legacies, and viewpoints. Whether it's a genuine showdown or a strategic financial play, the bout between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is bound to capture widespread attention in a rare instance of fraternizing with the enemy. He took Paul to task for projecting himself as a formidable contender while choosing to face an opponent who, though once a terrifying force in combat sports, is now well past his prime. On Tuesday, Mike Tyson made an unexpected guest appearance on Logan Paul's podcast Impulsive. Logan, as the clock ticks down to Tyson's fight with Jake Paul, excitement is building for a showdown marked by a striking 31-year age difference between the legendary Iron Mike and the younger problem child, who recently celebrated a decisive victory over bare-knuckle fighter Mike Perry during a particularly chilling segment on the podcast. Jake Paul's elder brother spoke with Tyson for about 45 minutes, during which he was mostly kind, though there were a few cautions for the former heavyweight champion. Logan Paul revealed disturbing personal details about his brother, giving boxing fans a sneak peek at what to expect from the Netflix-sponsored event. Logan informed Tyson that Jake had a stone-faced dream of becoming a Navy SEAL and killing people for his country in high school, long before he ever gave fighting a serious thought. When Logan suggested that Tyson was considering Jake as a novelty rather than as a genuine fighter, Tyson seemed to pay close attention and answered. According to Tyson, he takes him very seriously. "I do care about you and my brother, and I know the vicious path he's currently on. Thank you for your concern. Mike Che, I love you and I'm really concerned for you. I agree that it's pretty cool and fascinating to watch."